Here is a way to filter water in survival class today. The first thing that you want to do is put the cloth over the bucket. After you do that, you will tie a string around the top of the bucket to secure the cloth in place. I'm going to show you the before and after on how the bucket water looks. Here is the water now, and you can actually see that there are bugs floating in the water. So in order to get those bugs out of the water, we're going to filter this, and then we're going to show you the after difference. And then remove the cloth. And now we will pour this into the. Now let's see the after result of filtering just with cloth. And as you could see, just filtering with cloth alone had gotten rid of all of the bugs that was in the water. And remember, survival class is very important and can save someone in an emergency situation. If you do not have a water filter, you can utilize cloth in order to filter any kind of bugs out. The thicker the cloth is the better the filtration can be. And remember to always be thankful for filtered water. The body of the household and the outside responsibilities. If you need to cook for an emergency situation, then utilize tea candles. If you need to take a shower without a shower, get a tote, get a pan, get a cup, dump it over you over and over again until you shower. Very good. If you need to wash clothes and do not have a washer and dryer, you put the clothes in the tote, you get a soap bar or regular soap, and then you scrub the clothes and put them out on the clothing line. Very good. So first we will start with the candle cooking. So we'll go ahead and lift that up. Very good. And also, solar is also very important. And the battery and inverter is also a resourceful way. You want the shovel to come to about a little above your belly button, and that's a good size for you. Now if you have it any larger, it's going to be difficult, but you want this handle to be at the top, because then this handle will prevent blisters and other things like that. So I like this shovel because this shovel prevents blisters and everything. But what you have to do is, now with a brain injury, how to dig a hole properly is very important, because with my brain injury, I cannot propel my head or my brain injury will hurt and have pressure. So what I have to do, I have to dig this a certain way to where you do not move your head and you just move your arm. Now if you try to move your head, that can unlevel the water in your brain, and having a brain injury, I get really sensitive. So I've learned to do this in a specific way to where my brain injury does not hurt. So just observe. So you lift this up, you propel the arm. You're not moving the head, you only propel the arm. Afterwards, you'll step on that. Lift that up, put it down. Very good. So in order to do septic correctly, you never want to be too high up. So what you want about shovel width and shovel length. So here we put the shovel in. As you can see, you cannot even see the first part of the shovel because that is the correct size that we need to do alternate septic. If you do it any higher than shovel width and shovel length, then you're not deep enough. You do not want to go too deep, and you do not want to go too above the surface. And so shovel width and shovel length is perfect. So now we'll get the septic, which is just from the portable toilet. When you live off the grid, just have a small little septic and just do a daily routine every day. Now with septic also, you want to make sure that it's separate from the water well. Responsibilities. Raking is so important. If you get a rake, always make sure to get the best rake. And this is the metal rake. The metal rake is so much better than those plastic rakes that usually break super easily. So you want to make sure to get a strong, sturdy one. Do you know where your rake is? Come on, let's rake together. Come back and forward, love. Do not let those excuses bring you down. Always keep the goal for perfection so you can see that as your motivation. Stay healthy and invest wisely. If you need water, then dig for it. If you only have 2 hands, then do what you have to do. Look, that's the first boulder, and that's the second boulder. Just right in between. If we would have been a few feet off, just a few feet, would not have gotten that water right there. Now that is shocking. Now the water well pump was dug when hitting water the first time, but for some reason the pump was not pumping the water. And water goes where water is. For any kind of off-the-grid living situations, a well spigot is incredible to have. Make sure to get the correct companies for the well spigot. Tomorrow we will see if we get any water. We're letting everything settle as for now, and the water is adjusting. So there was, when digging, there was about 3 or 4 gallons in a matter of seconds. So we know for a fact that there's going to be at least 13 gallons a day or more. The first step to making clay is getting dirt. All you do to make something like clay pans, clay pots, is you get the dirt. I know it's like nasty as you think, but you get the dirt, you put it into the bucket, you put water into the bucket, and then you mix that. And this was the water left over from laundry. You mix and you want that red soil, you know, the reddish clay soil. And so my angels and I actually dug the first well and hit stone rock, and so there was a lot of red soil from the bottom, and it was sandy soil, which is the best kind. And you want to get that red soil, and sometimes you can find that near the lakes and rivers, but sometimes you have to like dig a little deep to find that. Very good. And so we put that in there, we mix that up really good, and we've been sitting that out for a while. So next all you need is like a little filter. So you just put regular dirt and water in there, and that is it, okay? Next you have to have another bucket. You're gonna have a filter over that. This is going to filter any kind of debris and other things. In an example, these were some of the debris that had floated to the top, and so we had to get that off of there. So we're going to put the filter over top of this next bucket, and we're going to pour this into the bucket. And we're going to get a really defined soil here. We put it into the cloth, and anything left behind, like the rocks and minerals, will be left at the bottom because of density. And now we have the clay in the hat. So now we'll just hang it up to drip dry, just like this. And we'll wrap this around. Excellent diligence, my angels. Our wonderful miracles, very good. Well put together. Then we'll tuck this under. Then we'll let it drip dry. We grabbed it, we crossed it under, and we pulled it, and now here it is, hanging up to drip dry. Tomorrow or so, it will be ready to be made clay. And remember, you always want to do things the clean way. Then we're going to make sure that this is evenly leveled. So we want to mash this in to the other clay. Remember, you can get clay from the dirt soil. So it starts with, you just get the dirt, you filter it, first you put it in water, then you get the things out from the bottom. Afterwards, you let it soak for just a few minutes, and then afterwards, you're going to pour it through a strainer and into a cloth. And after it goes into the cloth, then you just put it in the cloth and hang it up to drip dry. And after that, you'll have clay. What we're doing now is we're shaping the foot. So we shape the foot. We go all the way around. What we're doing now is we're shaping the foot. So we shape the foot. We go all the way around. And we can paint it. We can make it into anything we want to. So, now we have the outer edges of the shoe. We're going to lift that up and put that down. Very good. So now what we're going to do is we're going to lift this. And see, now we have the bottom of the shoe. And you can make this have the thickness that you want to. But remember, this is just an example. Like, wow, that is a piece of art right there. Okay, we really have to show you the close-up because you just cannot see it until you see it. So look at that. Mastery art right there. Oh my goodness, gorgeous! And we have the field blazing, the sun shining. It sounds like the typical average fairy tale.
cannot believe you turned a blank canvas into such a beautiful masterpiece. You're going to be shocked once you look at the image from this view. Absolutely gorgeous. Oh, gorgeous. Now we're going to add a little bit of flowers. And remember, you should not plant a tree that does not bear fruit. So we're going to get this tree to bear some fruit. So this tree... So now we have these wonderful things, and this is great, you all. This is wonderful. Look at how beautiful. We have a two-sided. Oh wow, look at the tree. Oh my, a heart. How creative is that? That is so creative, you all. We have to keep going on this. We're not done with this painting. Very good. Thinking that we actually like the yellow side. What do you think? The yellow side or the other side? No. This side. It's looking a little rough, but not much. I think it's looking beautiful. Okay, now, problem. Solution. We're going to have to pinch this with our hand. I know it's like difficult. Like, ew, gross. Do not like pinching things with our hand, you all. But since we had smoothed everything out, thinking that it's just fine to touch this. So only this. And there we go. The shoe. Now all we have to do is bake it. Make your own shoes. And this is proof. This is clay from the dirt ground. From the dirt. So now all we have to do is bake it. Are you all ready to bake it? Yay!
If you all would like to know how to make a basket out of nothing but vines, you can do so by subscribing to the YouTube channel, clicking our icon photo, and looking at our videos on how to make a homemade basket out of nothing but vines. With great description as well. You want to take about like 4 or 5 basket vines. So this is the first 4 here. Very good. And then we're going to have like 2 is fine. I think the strongest, you want the strongest vines to go to be first. So the most sturdy and strong one. Because that's going to be holding the basket together. So what we're doing now is we're just going to intertwine this. So we did not have to tie this or anything like that. We just had to really overlap it. And we're going to go over under. That's going to be the pattern. So one goes over, the other goes under. Very good. So we do want you all to see from a good view here if you all could see this. So we're just going to keep this going over under until we feel as though that's a structured amount right there. So now we're going to go under, and this one is going to go over. So that's the small details of this, and that will hold the bottom together even more. I think this is going to be the best basket we may have ever made. We're just going to make this even more special. Now, since we got this piece, we're just going to intertwine this. One is going to go under, one is going to go over, one is going to go under. So we're separating the pieces now. And then one is going to go, that's under, over, and then this one's under. So it's the same sort of thing. So now we will tuck this in. Great double jumps. Very good. Randall's and I have the Cygnus Industries. We believe that in the Cygnus Industries that we can do schools of health, safety, and survival. And if you all would like to look into the Cygnus Industries, Randall's and I will put that in the link in the description below. Very good. Wow, that is beautiful. Here we go. Sometimes you just have to cut off the bigger ends. Oh, very good.
we are ready to start these signs. So what we do after that is we just curl this in just like this. What we're going to do is we're going to have this sort of held up just like this. Very good. We're going to leave this up as far as we want. Make sure all of these parts are compact. Very good.
Cross it. So cross it in the middle. So as you can see, before we cross this next string, so this one as you can see, we do not want to mess the position, everything up. So as you can see, here is this string. Just sort of remove the other strings so you can see. So we're going to cross this just like this where our finger is. And then we're going to grab the next string and we'll put it into that cross. So as soon as we do that, we're going to cross this one again and grab the next one. So we cross this every single time. Very good. Grab it, cross it, grab it, cross it, grab it, cross it, grab it, cross.
So tomorrow we're going to be wearing this on our waist as the new trend. It's such a trend. It's like so gorgeous. I'm so proud of it. Yay! Look at that. Are you all amazed? Yay! This is a good picture. You can take a photo if you want. Or like this. Yes, like that.
We have a straightforward piece of lumber that's straightened. Is exactly what we need. This is perfect for building. So we need to find a bunch that's like that. Now that's the first one, and that's lightweight too. Just so you know, this wood has seasoned. Currently preparing wood. We're going to build something in a few minutes. But it does not, I'd say, it does affect my brain injury until I learned how to do it without affecting my brain injury. Sometimes you learn how to go around medical problems, and used to sling my head. But now, if you have controlled swings, you're only moving your hands, not your head. So that's why it does not affect me, because I learned how to do it without affecting that. And I could not sit down in the house for so long, because having to sit down and write and stuff, I want to come out and do something. So let's look around to see what other things of lumber we can gather. We're looking at some lumber over here. Building. Come on. Gotta be resourceful, be thankful for what we have, and just make the best of it. If we do not have it all, then at least we have something. Good approximation. So, the step for this is the platform. Very good. So the first thing is put the lumber onto the trees. Make sure that they are aligned correctly. Then afterwards, the platform goes on there. And afterwards, we'll try different directions, all different directions, every direction you could put this in, really. That's a good way to think about it. And the stronger, the more strings you got on this, is the stronger this can be. So then afterwards, we'll wrap this around. In this direction. Make sure that it's not going to come undone. Look at this. Shaking that, and what's moving more of? The actual tree. So that is fine. We have to take off our gloves for precise measurement. But it's best to have gloves on when doing things like this. But not for the string tying part. You want to make sure to tie this string to where it is compact. Very good. Where did my cloth in? There's no screws involved, no equipment like that. Grabbing the strings, unraveling that like the present moment of time. We'll get more string for this one because this one does not have a branch to rest on. Well, the other one could stay there because there was branches. There's two branches. Let's see the best position for you. Is this good? Let's try. Remember when I weave the basket out of nothing but vines? You go over, under, over, under. But here's a twist. You got to have two. You got to have two of the strings crossing over. Like this. You start with getting the two ends of the string, wrap that around one piece of the wood, then cross it. And then get the other piece of wood, then wrap that around. As we grab it, cross it, all those bad things, toss it. So now we cross it again before getting to the other piece of wood. So what you do is grab it, cross it, then on the next one you're going to cross that string over. This is how you weave something with string. So we are weaving the sticks together. If you have a stronger rope, that would work also. I think that would work a lot better, but this does do it. You just have to layer this a few times beforehand. So afterwards, you cross that again, tuck that over. So remember, you got two strings, two sets of strings, and this was actually 1 1/2. But you have to have two strings, and you cross that every time. So the bottom one goes to the top, and you cross it. Very good. It's the thing about humanity and the way they've learned. It took the unitingness of life. I know people in today's time forget about it, but it did happen. Humanity used to unite together and test different strategies of constructing, and if one strategy did not work, then they tried a different strategy, and they introduced each other to their different types of building. So now we are going over the sticks and making sure this is interweaved. And guess what? This is holding me pretty well. And so the only problem is how do you get back and forth on the loft piece and down the loft piece? The thing is, we have to build a ladder. So come join me in building a ladder. So to get this lumber, it took a few blisters and some sorting through the piles, and finally found some really good pieces here. What you need is since we know that that's going to be the back piece. Now we'll get to the front piece. Okay, here's the ladder, y'all. Great diligence, very good. Wow. Whoop, dum, dum, dum. That's good. Now the only thing left is to put the back on it. Very good. happy Thanksgiving, you all, with one single axe and some blisters on the hand, as well as some good measurements that was measured as well. It looks like we do not need the tricycle anymore. Very good. Just a single axe. Great diligence and some amazing skills. Very good. Stay healthy, invest wisely. Happy holidays with the primitive building strategies of strings and cut lumber and weaving. The panels, these panels of sticks was weaved together with the string, and this ladder was created thereafter. And this is K-A-Y-L-A-N, better known as Professor Cygnus and Angels, proving to you all that we can be resourceful as long as we put our mind to do it. Very good. This is K-A-Y-L-A-N, better known as Professor Cygnus and Angels. Remember to have healthy eating, appropriate speech, appropriate behavior, appropriate clothing, appropriate spacing, and other science and anatomy of all things. Also remember to have the goals of the body, the household, and the outside responsibilities. And here we want to show you all how to make an emergency shelter. So the first things that you need to do is you need to stake 2 sticks into the ground. That means to push and drive the 2 sticks into the ground, cross them at the top, tie them together with a string. If you have vineyard or anything string-wise around, then you could wrap it around. Then put another 2 sticks, the side of that one, cross together and then tied at the top. Then put a middle stick that's connecting the 2 pieces to where you would have enough room to sit down. So afterwards, you definitely want to make sure that this can stand on its own. So this sleigh does not have this, but tie some sticks at the bottom. Afterwards, just have the plastic sheeting going around it. Very good. And then you have your emergency shelter. This is just an example, you all, for display of the survival education lesson. Stay healthy and invest wisely. And always remember how to make an emergency shelter. See you all soon. This is K-A-Y-L-A-N, better known as Professor Cygnus and Angels. I am the founder of the Cygnus Industries, and I live non-sinfully and independently, being a motivation and inspiration to the ones in need. So you all, to the ones who have not tried a wood stove, wanting to introduce you all to how to start a wood stove. First, this is what you want to do. You want to prepare. Big word, prepare. So you can gather the small sticks first. You want more small sticks than you do bigger sticks. So the first thing that you want to do is make sure you have at least a 30-gallon tote full of wood, small pieces, bigger pieces, and also at least a 5-gallon bucket of grass and leaves. The first thing you want to do is you want to cover the bottom in grass. Make sure the damper is open on the chimney and in the front. So in the front dampers, you want to make sure that the top one is closed and the bottom one is open. The reason why is because once the smoke starts to come out, it's going to try to come out the front. You do not want smoke to come out to the front, because then you're going to be poisoned with carbon dioxide poison, which is not fun at all, you all. So here is the grass at the bottom, and then the little sticks will go over top of that grass. So once we do that, now this bigger one is going to be added once this starts up. We're going to put this bigger one on the side, and we're going to keep putting those small sticks beside of that. So usually when you have the wood stove going, you want to have one big log on one side and then put little sticks on the other side. Or put the log in the middle and have little sticks on both sides. Either one is fine, but you need to have more little sticks than you do the bigger sticks. That way you can keep everything very hot. You do not want to overheat the stove. So if the stove is getting like too overheated, then you need to add more bigger sticks than little sticks. But for this, in this case scenario, you want to add the bigger ones. So you want to have also the tools that you need to move this for when this is too hot. And this is a wood stove shovel piece. And that is a really good piece to have. So now you definitely want to have long matches. Very good, which is a scientific flint. So now we'll light this. Very good, and pull the hand back. These are heat-resistant gloves, just to let you all know. The oxygen is starting the grass here. And then after that, the sticks on the top is going to catch fire as well. So we're just waiting for the sticks. But now you just continue adding the smaller logs. We'll also add this bigger log as well. So I have one big log, and then the small sticks will be in there also. The chimney for the wood stove is out of the window. Thus far is very portable, and anytime the wood stove is not in use, it can actually take the chimney apart and turn this sideways and have so much extra space, which is wonderful for a small building. And also wonderful for portability as well. And the chimney is easily taken out. Like you can take out the chimney and then you can take the chimney apart and scrub that very easily. Could not imagine the ones that have the hole in the roof. That would just be terrible. Because it would be so much more difficult to keep maintenance on those kinds of chimneys. But these are very fast and simple to disassemble and clean up and then reassemble. On the back here is aluminum to make sure that the wall there does not get too hot. Some of those wood stoves are too close to the ground, which is pretty dangerous, but these here are away from the ground, which is even better. That way you're actually getting all of that heat from all around the bottom. Excellent, very good. Also remember to keep everything clear and clean of hazards, as well as to have some toxic-free Glade spray to spray around, do not spray on, and make sure that everything is clear of hazards, any plastics, anything that is a hazard, make sure to keep that clear of the wood stove, and also make sure to have that supply nearby as well. This is the episode of how to start a wood stove. Subscribe for more lessons of health, safety, and survival, as well as sing-along songs with free product anatomy puzzles that are specially designed and created. Now we will throw the other one back. Very good. Then we will close the latch. Hey, Metaverse. It'd be so wonderful to find more productivity when utilizing a wood stove. Would you like to learn how to be more productive? Stay tuned in the episode, and we will show you how to be more productive. This is K-A-Y-L-A-N, better known as Professor Cyganus and Angels. And my angels and Iris, one human being, I notice beyond the sight you're seeing. We're doing very good, my miracles, my wonderful angels. And remember to have healthy eating, appropriate speech, appropriate behavior, appropriate clothing, appropriate spacing into the science and anatomy of all things. Also, remember to have the goals of the body, the household, and the outside responsibilities.
something for all of the responsibilities of the body, the household, and the outside responsibilities. Everything needs cleaned, but how can we clean that? Unless we had one very important thing, soap. Have you ever wondered how to make soap out of ashes from the wood stove? First, collect your ashes into a container. Then get a jar. You can actually have this as a very large barrel. This is a prototype small version. The first thing that you will need is the jar and holes at the bottom. Make sure to poke the holes at the bottom in small holes all around. Like this. Very good. The next thing that you will need is the materials. First, you will need a bunch of little rocks and stones. Then you will need grass. Then you can utilize a little bit of some charcoal or small sticks. The first thing that we will do in order to make soap is we will include the rocks into the jar at the bottom. So now the stones are at the bottom. Very good. These are pebbles. Also, something that you will need is coconut fat. This is organic coconut. You could utilize the fat from the coconut in order to harden the soap afterwards. And this is vegan soap also. Vegan, gluten-free, and practical non-GMO in a sense of a way. And now, what we will do after that is we will include the grass. Let's add the grass into the jar. Very good. The next thing that we will do is add the charcoal. After this, we will include a small amount of ashes at a time. We will mix the ashes with water. Then afterwards, we will mix the ashes with water. After we do this, we need a platform plate to put over top of the jar. But we need to make sure that something can hold the jar up. So therefore, we will make little pillar towers, and then we will put the jar over top of the little pillar towers so that the liquid of LYE soap can go out from the bottom. Very good. And this is a miniature version of something that you can make much larger than this for larger projects. Very good. The next thing that we will do is pour the ash water into the jar. Looks like we may need more than that. Add just a little bit at a time. We will mix the ashes with the water. Very good. Left, forward, right, back. Very good at doing that. Then we will pour that in to the filtration. This may take quite some time in order to collect the LYE. Be patient. Afterwards, we will mix the LYE with the coconut fat. We may need to run this back twice. Bravery. We may need to run the LYE soap twice. Sit down on your sofa, please. Sit on your sofa until this episode is done. Bravery. Looks like there is a little bit of LYE collected, but we may need to backtrack that twice. We will continue to filter this until this is a nice liquid soap. Afterwards, we will mix this with the coconut fat while boiling and getting this hot. This may take a while to be able to collect the LYE soap. Let's try mixing some more. There that is, the LYE soap. Very good. The LYE soap will look like a brownish color. If the ashes come out, that means that you may have to rerun that a few times before you get LYE soap. As you can see, the LYE is a little bit brownish color, which is completely different from the gray color that ashes usually are. The reason why is because you are extracting a fine liquid and filtering that. Let's mix more ashes. Not too much water and not too less water either. Now we will pour that into the filtration. And remember, the filtration may have to be ran through twice in order to get an incredible fine liquid. Now we will wait patiently while the LYE soap is being gathered. Wow! LYE is already starting to be collected. Congratulations! Very good. We always want to find more ways of being productive. Soap is something that is incredibly important. In fact, there is such a history about soap making and the importance of soap making. Wow, we are starting to collect a lot of LYE soap. Back then, they did not have a lot of resources on how to shower. You possibly wonder, how did they shower back then without soap? Some of them would boil certain types of fruits into the water in order to try to shower. But that did not work out every time. Peppermint was very known to be a natural healing thing for many years. So some utilized peppermint. In India, they utilized a very special type of fruit that boiled, making a soapy-like substance. And in other parts of the world, they tried different strategies, but none of them was necessarily the best strategy. Because in a sense of a way, they still felt unclean. So they always tried to find different strategies and they tested different things. Now the fruit strategy was actually very good and efficient, but sometimes was sticky. And so LYE soap was something that could get really greasy things off of things. And this was created with ashes. After cooking your food, with the heat of fire, then afterwards you would try to find productive things to do with this. Perhaps they have documentation on who discovered LYE soap. Wonder who would know about that. Well, it sounds like Google's library may have something there. Google has an incredible library about so many things. We are so thankful for Google. Perhaps we can ask Google. Perhaps Google knows. They have so many things in their metadata. Surely they have something about LYE soap. Would you like to look? Come on, let's ask Google. We asked Google. Google says that there is no proof of history of who exactly came up with LYE soap. Ancient Mesopotamians? Or even the Babylonians? but no one necessarily has any backup proof of who exactly invented LYE soap and how they invented it. There's so many inventions that were accidental inventions. Wondering if they just had an open outside campfire and just accidentally poured water over that after boiling the water, and perhaps that had left this residue on there that they had became curious about. Or possibly someone was intelligent enough to identify and recognize LYE soap. Either way, we know now that they do not have any backup documents about who invented that. But yet we are thankful that we know how to do this. There are some people in Indonesian cultures that utilize LYE soap if they do not have any store availability. And some of them do it to keep the culture alive. Now let's rinse this off. As you can see, this is empty now. And now look, we have a brown liquid. And that is the LYE. Excellent. Now what we do is we heat this up while mixing coconut with this. We always want to give you correct angling. This is a sweet potato. Mrs. Deborah had given sweet potatoes yesterday. How nice is that? Thank you, Mrs. Deborah. And now we will get back to mixing the coconut fat with the LYE soap. Let's add more LYE. Very good. Wow, how amazing is this? You can make a bigger version of this if you want to make a bigger thing of soap. After we have melted the coconut fat in here, then it will be time to cool this off. You could stick this in the freezer afterwards so this can harden. But since this is created into the LYE soap, all we have to do is let this cool off now. We will set this onto the ground. We could not have had one thing without the other. That's the truth. So we should be very thankful for the things that we have in life. Whether if it is the soap that we have to clean everything, or the development that it took to be able to create that. Always practice gratitude every day. Did you know that practicing gratitude proves that you are more healthy than people who do not practice gratitude? And if you wanted to learn how to make soap, there is the educational episode that can help you make soap with just simply ashes and fat from coconut.